Oh, once. I thought it was ready. I said Juan Soto just signed a $765 million contract.
Are we done ruining intros? Good morning, Skippy.
Was there an intro? Because I didn't hear anything, just so you know.
Oh.
That's why I kept pointing at you like it's on you.
It played in my headphones.
Oh, well. How am I doing? Excellent. It's a great day in the neighborhood. Well, now I hear it.
Dream of running a successful food truck business and life. We invite you along to join Josh and Skippy on this journey. This is Monday Morning Food Truck.
Come for the dancing, stay for the talk.
Oh, boy.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning again, Josh. How are you?
I'm couldn't be better. Thank you. How are you?
Oh, it's a great day in the neighborhood.
Thanks for the kisses, Bernie.
Aw.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to
Must
kiss him
be
first? Aw. You're a good boy. Am I done ruining intros, as you said?
Yes.
Probably not. I probably not. But I apologize in advance.
It's okay.
For
I
any
will forgive
intro
you.
I may ruin.
Steve, thanks for all the likes on the TikTok. I'm guessing those are yours. Michaela, if those are yours, I appreciate that as well. So, over 500 hearts flying around on TikTok.
Yes. A lot of hearts.
My guess is the TikTokers will have more hearts than the YouTubers.
Ooh. What if they're dual streaming?
Then you got to get both thumbs working, man. I don't know.
Get those thumbs working.
Yeah, get those thumbs working.
My local.
I've heard that you got to get, if you use the thumbs like that, and then you got to go like that, and then it's one of these. Something I don't know. Something I saw on your TikTok.
Oh boy, he might be spending a smidge more time there.
I don't got anything else to do.
Well, I think we'll talk about that later.
About what later?
About what to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So let's get into your week. How was your week?
It was fine. I didn't do anything.
Did we catch up on some shows?
No, I didn't have time to watch TV.
Well, that means you were busy.
I was busy doing not work stuff.
Oh.
Just stuff around the house.
What was the greatest thing you did this week? Other than that.
I snow blowed my driveway 4 times.
Really? You guys had that much snow? Damn.
You know all those winter storm warnings that were on this side of the state?
No, we don't see those.
That's why I said on this side of the state.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we had 8 inches the first one, and then probably another 4 the next day or so.
Is it gone now?
Yeah. Yeah, there's no snow.
Yeah, ours is definitely gone. We only have
I see one little pile. Yeah, where the kids I built them a ramp for their sledding.
Oh.
In the backyard.
Note to self, if you ever have a broken leg, do not go sledding. Just wanted to let you know.
I'll make sure I tell Hutch.
Because I did that and my leg was a pole vault. It was quite an interesting sight to see a fat man flying through the air, but
happens every Christmas.
I was going to say, and not Santa Claus.
Did that. I got, let's see here. Eventually got the tire fixed on my wife's car after that got in.
Oh, good.
Played musical rental cars all week.
Oh,
my truck's, I was correct. The rear caliper blew on it. So new rear brakes, which we needed anyways. I knew that was going to happen.
yeah.
New brakes, new tires, a rear brake caliper, a free oil change.
Coupon?
And yeah, sure, whatever. A free oil change up to 4 quarts.
Correct.
Which I told him not to do. I got there. He's like, he already had the oil drained by the time I tried to tell him not to do it. Okay. I'm still getting charged for the other 6 quarts of oil. Got it.
Really? He charged you for that?
Yeah.
I understand it was free up to you, but you told him not. Oh, damn. Bastards.
So $2,400, I think, was my total out the door. Which I have to actually call them because it says they did the alignment. They realigned I'm still pulling to the right, so it's gonna have to go back. But and then let's see what else happened. I replaced. Thanks for the suggestion. I think it was Jason. I'm not sure. Who said to check the resistor for the blower motor?
Yeah,
saying that might be the problem. On the bright side, they're right next to each other. It was pretty well corroded. I'm not sure if the resistor was bad, but replacing the resistor did not fix the issue. So both parts got replaced. Probably needed to happen anyway, so not a huge deal. But
now you have heat.
Couple $100. I have heat that comes out now.
Oh, okay.
Instead of just heat.
Instead of just radiating somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. If you were going down the highway, though, the forced air coming through the truck would push the heat or air conditioning through the vents.
Oh, that's good.
So you just had to be going like 70, though. So, taking the kids to school doesn't really. There was no defrost option in my vehicle. There's no let it warm up and let the windows defrost in the morning.
You're inside lighting 3 candles.
Yeah. And my truck does not fit in the garage. So, I mean, it could, but no. Yeah.
Probably not.
It'd be tight. I would, if our garage was completely empty and I pulled all the way to the wall with the bumper touching the wall, it just clears the back.
Oh, yeah.
And then our vehicles are both so wide that it's just a standard double. So you have to kind of angle both cars into the garage so you can actually open the doors. Yeah. I tried 5 different ways when we moved into the house with it empty, and there was no good way. So my truck just sits outside.
Sorry to hear that. Oh, I just got an alert. Sweet Rex Smoking Butts posted a video.
Jason says, if the resistor did not fix it, then it was Justin's idea.
I like it.
Yes. Yep. Justin, I know a little about vehicles. I get that on good old boys that take a beer and a little cash. About to order about $1,000 of parts for my truck. Yep. I love off-season maintenance. So, yeah. Still need to probably, I think, 4 new trailer tires and get the maintenance done on those brakes. So, yep. But I think we're over. I think the majority of the tires on the trailer are a year and a half old. So, probably we were replacing them about every year. So,
it's amazing how they don't last. Like, it's weird.
I mean, if we were just pulling the trailer down the road, just regular miles on the road, I don't think it would be as bad. But think about how often you're parking in those especially with torsion axles, where you're jackknifing it in and those wheels are just dragging across.
Just dragging right across.
Yeah. So I think they wear down a little bit quicker because of the nature in which we use our trailer. So versus just a regular hauler of things.
I had one that I had to replace in the very beginning of the year, and then because my trailer brakes were all messed up, so I had to fix those. And now I got 2 or 3 that probably I'm seeing like it still has like, they need to be replaced. But it's just money. They print it every day. So
Yep, that's that's awesome.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out here. I was wondering if I could see. I can't see active hearts on like an accumulation of hearts on YouTube. I mean, Steve's been hammering the hearts on the TikTok though.
Steve's a good guy.
1,600. Yeah, he followed us one day while we were in service. We were doing a live, and he was well over 10,000, I think.
Damn.
Yeah.
He really hearts you.
He does, and we heart Steve. Yeah. So that was pretty much my week. I didn't do a whole lot of much of anything work wise. Did get caught up on the majority of receipts in my spreadsheet for P&L purposes. Need to go back and double check through the bank account, make sure we're all square everywhere. But yeah, I did some invoices, cleaned up some stuff, started working in Square a little bit. Kind of starting to look at delivery service stuff. So whether we use Square's internal delivery, food delivery, or we go through DoorDash or whatever, and then not much is going to get done in the next couple of weeks for me. So it's just that time of year. There's a lot to do, and with me not working full time, a lot of the duties of this time of year fall squarely over here. So, which is fine, and I don't mind. But it just it does eat up some time. So,
sure it does.
And then we're catering all week next week. So, trying to gather things to get an order in, while also trying to get everything cleaned so we can start moving. Have started already moving some stuff out of the trailer. But it's where do I put stuff? So yeah, which also makes it harder this time of year because of the weather being so shitty. It'd be nice just to move everything out behind the trailer on a couple pallets for a week, and but with it being so wet and nasty, like I got to get everything into my garage, and then I got to make room in my garage, and yeah, there's a lot to do. So yeah, I am busy and not doing much anything. So I've enjoyed my laziness the last few weeks. I felt fairly motivated over the weekend, so got some shit done. Starting to get back into the swing of working again. Justin says his wastewater tank froze. Found out when I tried to drain it, and the valve handle snapped off. I had a couple of valve handles break on me.
Well, great news. Rain is coming.
Yeah, you should be warming up in the next couple of days, I'm guessing. You're welcome. We're sending all that over to you. Yeah. So, excuse me.
Oh,
it's a good one.
Huh?
A little breakfast. So yeah, that was my week. I had some invoices get paid for next week. That's which gives us a pretty good idea of where we're going to end up for the year. I still have 3 outstanding, I think, invoices. But being able to plug those in is pretty easy. We should hit right about 21%, I think, over last year.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And you had talked about, so that'll put us about 50 grand over last year. And yeah, that helps. But I pulled some other fun numbers, or some interesting numbers.
I mean, however you can get it, the better. So.
Yeah, I don't know what I did with my little sheet, but I was looking at just because it didn't feel like we did as much other catering this year. Like it was a lot of business lunches and stuff. Like it felt like we were down on weddings this year. It felt like we were down on open houses this year. But we almost doubled the number of catering jobs, invoiced jobs this year over last year.
Oh yeah.
So, well, I didn't feel like it. Clearly, we did more invoice work than we have any other year. So,
Well, it may have not felt like it because of how efficient maybe you become.
yeah, probably. So even with all the extra days that we were catering, we were only down 1.5 transactions a day that we were open. So, yeah, if we look at our, Justin, we were right about 78 invoice jobs. I think is what the number was, 78, which is pretty good for us. We were 43, I think, last year.
Wow. Yeah, I think I haven't even counted yet.
How do you number your invoices?
Oh, yeah, we talked about that. Please hold. I'm actually looking at them right now.
Okay.
71.
Yeah, it's a good number.
Yeah, the problem is I labeled one for next year this year. Like it's
You can
not
change
due.
that, you know.
Can I change it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's just try it out since it's here.
Yeah, you just have to, so that's where I run into some issues is like we'll have one for next year.
Problem is
So
it's
I'll
already
do
paid.
Oh, then you probably can't change it. So I'll do 2025-005 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then when you do the next invoice, it automatically numbers to the next one in sequence.
Yep.
So if you're not paying attention, you got to make sure that you're going back and forth.
So technically 70 if you don't count that one.
Okay. Still a good number. That's a lot. I mean, guaranteed money, man. 70 days of guaranteed money or 78 events of guaranteed.
Yeah,
That's always
and
good.
they all range in dollar amounts too, which is even better. So
Mhm.
I think we did a total. I looked at it. It was like a total of. Let's do that. View. I got one overdue for today.
So yeah, it's we're as far as our businesses and stuff, we're reaching out to all those guys in the next month. Just touching base, see if we can do anything for them this year. Try to get stuff on the books early. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. I haven't really our daily locations. We haven't really roadside stuff. We haven't really reached out to yet. The couple that we have, they're like, yep, we haven't really looked at next year yet. So probably going to wait until after the new year and hit it really hard that first week of January. Reaching out to those.
Yeah, we have.
Since most of our roadside stuff isn't doing stuff through the winter. Although I'm seeing weekly schedules for a whole lot of trucks this year.
That are still out.
Like full time. So I mean, good for them. Good for them. I'm so like some of the winery in Hudson or Holland that we go to that we really love. Like they're still having trucks out there 3 times a week. So they're one that we did hear from though. So feel pretty good about our relationship there. But yeah, hopefully we don't get bumped for some of these other trucks that are working through the winter, you know, that lock into a permanent rotation spot now. But good for them. I'm happy to have the break. So
see, I don't know. I think it's just people looking for a second or looking for another day. Or not another day, but somebody to run over the wintertime because they've had people there the whole time. And it's not about the trucks losing business. It's about like wherever they're going losing business. I don't know. It's weird. Sorry.
No, I completely understand that breweries and wineries and stuff wanting trucks out. It makes sense, but yeah, I mean, good for the trucks that are going and still working. I am grateful for the time we can take off. So yeah, I think we'll be about 410, I think, for the year.
For all of this year, I just I didn't realize that you could get rid of, or not get rid of. You could export your invoice total. So I did that. You can invoice or into Excel all your invoices. I didn't realize that. I just did it. Well, I've been manually counting.
No, we've talked about this every year.
Whatever.
Because that's the only way I've done it.
So invoice total, 86,647. Minus 3,400 for February would be 83,000 and some change, which is well up from last year. I think last year was around 47,000, so I might have doubled it.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't looked at total amounts yet because it's skewed this year. Next year will be more meaningful because we'll have Aetna both years of the full amount. So yeah, obviously we're up there, but it's nice to see the invoiced amounts, just the invoiced events up. So something we can build from. As of right now, we're up 21.32%. That's net though, 20.99%. So we got another. Oh no, I lied. Sorry. Net is 21.32. But I think we're gonna get another 0.5% out of that because we got another $3,000 in sales coming. So 409,992. How much? What?
That's a lot.
What's a lot?
Total.
Oh, yeah. So our average ticket is up 25%. Obviously, the catering helps. But yeah, 35 is our average net sale. Down 3%. Down 3% in transactions. But like I said, it's about 300 transactions, so it equates to about 1.5 a day of our season. Which I'm like, whatever. Like that sounds like such a minor amount at that point.
How many transactions did you do total?
11,600.
7,084.
Not bad for having 2 months off.
Down 10%.
Or a month and a half. How long were you off? A month and a half?
4 weeks.
So a month, yeah. But yeah, so I'm like, well, shit. So it's 300 transactions, give or take. And then you do times 35.
You almost doubled. Well, you almost doubled me in sales.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Don't say it. Don't say it. We talked about earlier this year.
Say what? I wasn't going to say anything.
You just were smiling as you were looking at me, so I thought.
Well, it always makes me happy that I am.
Oh, you're better than a one-man show. Yay. You have payroll. Yay.
One-man show by choice.
True.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Jason. So 410 says that's huge. Congrats. Huge. Yeah, so why not add a second truck? You can double it. We could be an $800,000 truck.
It could be.
First of all, it doesn't work that way. I think we all know that. Double the trucks does not necessarily mean double the sales.
No. But that second truck could pay for itself if you just did festivals with it or something.
Yeah.
Like big events. I've been looking at those a lot lately. Big events, 2-3 day events. I'm pretty happy. We'll apply for a couple of them. But they're not 3-4 day things. Like we'll go back down to Irish and Ionia this year if we can get in. There's a couple 2-day music festivals in Grand Rapids that are pretty good for food trucks. We'll try to get into those again. But other than that, for us, the small town stuff is, it's a $2,700 day. Oh, for sure.
And we're paying $150 for the weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, or I can roll the dice on $1,000 for a 3-day thing, and who knows if anybody's going to show up.
True that.
So we're really going to focus.
Aww.
I think. What?
Sorry, I just got a Facebook notification that your dad followed me finally.
Oh, it's about time.
Well, I assume he's Robert L.
Yes.
One
So,
bird
yeah,
following another bird.
that's what we'll focus. Kind of that energy for festivals. Yeah, I don't need big festivals. We've talked about it a lot. It's a whole lot of extra work. A whole lot of extra stress, a whole lot more risk involved.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather, and we've talked like the whole Brickyard thing. It wasn't Brickyard, Indy 500. Where you know, his net at the end of the day for the 4 days or whatever was what, $6,000.
He just did the one day. He just did the 500.
Okay, but it wasn't $6,000. He didn't clear $6,000.
Yeah, he had was 40%. He did 22 or something like that. I thought he said he ended up with like 10.
Okay,
And maybe that's minus, or then he has payroll. I'm not sure.
well, yeah, payroll and food and stuff, like all that other, like, regardless though, it wasn't just the one day that he worked. You know, he had 3 days of prep to get ready for everything. The next day you're off. I mean, yeah, I mean that much work for the day. I mean, a cool event, and it would be cool to try to do something like that. But I think as of right now, we're good. So I'd rather have less stress on my staff, less stress on me, and do stuff we can do, events we can manage, and have more interactions, quality interactions with customers to lead to other stuff. So, yeah. So yeah, Skippy, how was your week?
Boy.
I've been rambling on for half an hour.
Well, I'm used to that.
Don't fucking say it.
We were supposed to have a guest today. Unfortunately, he had a medical thing with his family, so wish him the best.
Jason, we'll get to your question here in just a minute.
Oh, feel free to ask. Yeah, go ahead. It's all Jason all the time. Go ahead. I'm sure he's going to have some sort of comment.
That's what we were talking about. He has a comment.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Right. So did Skippy beat Josh in sales? I know that's his goal every year.
Well, if you're following along, Jason, we just answered that. So
I might have missed the comment come through, so it could have been a little while.
Yeah, whatever.
Sorry. I'll try to do better. All right. Sorry. No guest this week. Best wishes to his family. Hopefully everything's going well. So
yes, best wishes to his family.
Mm.
We worked yesterday, or not yesterday, Saturday. We had a little catering gig for a previous customer, and
nice.
this is 40th, or his wife surprised him with a 40th birthday party at a golf simulator. Actually got to meet the whole family, which is kind of cool. I did their wedding 2 years ago. It was one of the first catering gigs I did with the food truck. That rained, and I had no idea what I was doing, so it was great. So we're supposed to eat off the truck, and we're like, oh well, let's figure this out. Cafe update. Well, hung all the trophies up, so that's good. Hung shelves up. Thanks to our buddy Chad for helping with shelves. That's very nice. That was very nice of him to come down. I'm getting more optimistic. I don't know why. I hear a lot of talk about it. People are really anxiously awaiting it opening. I had to find somebody that will do the floors, so they're going to do it tomorrow. So that's good. All the equipment's in. So once the floors are done, the equipment can be moved up, and it can be a kitchen. Well, with the exception of plumbing, that still has to be done too. So right now the goal is January 4th would be the soft opening. Ish.
Okay.
Ish. I'm just really.
Do you feel like it keeps moving? It keeps getting later and later.
Well,
and I'm not sure that's the case, but it seems like
it is.
Every time we talk, it's like just a little bit later.
Well, keep in mind it was supposed to open mid-October. So
yeah.
So the thing is, and we actually I actually physically signed the lease agreement the other day. I respect the fact that he's doing a lot of the work himself. Like, I get that. But I don't think there's anybody there that's been holding him accountable to moving it forward faster, or at least on time, or whatever. Unfortunately, he had to put his dog down the other day, and he's had family in, and like he's just there's.
It's this time of year.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
And I understand it and I get it. So I'm not angry. I'm not mad. It is what it is. I guess what I'm more frustrated with is it could have been done a long time ago, and we could have been set up for a December opening probably. But what I did was we signed the actual lease agreement to start January 1st, and or actually the 2nd, since the 1st is a holiday. And I told him if it's not done, I mean, I'm not paying until it's done. And I gave him a checklist of all the items that still need to be done. And he's 100% on board with it. And he's like, I will get this done no matter what. So that's good. I'm happy with that, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
I think once the floors get done, I mean, that's a big deal. Like there's 2 things that just need to be done. Well, 3. The floors, move all the equipment actually upstairs, and finish the plumbing. Those are 3 main things. Everything else we can run. I mean, it can. I got to get a trailer to move the smoker over there, but other than that, I mean, it's.
I mean, yeah, you can function as you did before, right?
Yeah, it can run. So that's where we are right now.
Okay.
And as Darren Worth says, 3 more weeks. He's a guy. I mean, I listen to his podcast every week. I used to think, and he probably can come off like this. I've met him maybe once or twice, but never really had a major conversation with him. He always reminded me of just an absolute dick, like just somebody who thinks their shit don't stink, and whatever he does is right, turns to gold, whatever. But the more I listen to his podcasts, like he works his ass off, and that's who I want to like. Who I aspire to be is like what he's doing, and I think he said he'll have with just the 2 Smokey D restaurants, he'll have like 10 million in sales. And we're talking Des Moines, Iowa, which is, it's a metropolitan area in Iowa, but it's still Iowa. And he's opened up a new breakfast place that's been off the chain. So,
are both his restaurants in Des Moines?
One's in Ankeny, I believe.
I'm sorry, where?
Yeah, exactly.
Ankeny?
Ankeny.
Or Ankeny?
A-N? No, I think it's A-N-K, like E-N-A-Y or E-N-Y or something like that.
A-N-K-E-N-Y.
There you go.
Huh.
Which is, I think, where the breakfast joined us too, which is called It's My Jam. But listening to him and him talk about the business is interesting, and that's kind of why we can segue into a topic about people. Like, he's got obviously employees. You have employees. I don't know if Justin has employees or Jason has employees. I want
to quick get back to the 10 million in sales.
Please.
Between the 2 restaurants.
Please. Now he does have a bar, so that I'm now understanding that a bar will probably lead to better sales, like having
crime. Oh,
well, it could be. I mean, I don't
know. Sorry, real quick. Fran said, I noticed a couple of food trucks are working with brick and mortar for the winter season. Yes. Case in point, Skippy. So Des Moines proper population is 210,000, with a metro population of 709, which puts it at 81st in the country. For perspective, for those that are in Michigan,
the Jackson is located in Jackson County, where I live, has a population of 30,702.
So
Get him. Get him, Taco.
they're both grumbling.
Is Matt here?
No, they're at the slider. Someone probably someone arrived on the road.
I didn't know they howl. Aw, that's the cutest little thing in the world.
No, it's not. Yep.
Baby.
Every once in a while, the inner wolf comes out. It's so annoying. So 709 for their Metro. Grand Rapids Metro is 1.15 million. So, yeah, smaller than Grand Rapids, which I mean, but it's Iowa, and he has a brand there. I mean, I'm gonna guess there's not a ton of competition for really, really good barbecue. You know,
Well, that's the funny part, right? The funny part is everything he does is all reheated. You got an Amazon package?
right back.
Please say your condolences to the doggos. Aw. They're just protecting Dad. Yeah, 10 million in sales, yeah, it's big between two restaurants. And his prices are, I mean, realistically inexpensive compared to a lot of other barbecue places. So we just toss them outside.
Electrocution devices on and outside there. The door's open.
So I was saying that, yeah, you said good barbecue. Everything is reheated. Everything is reheated.
And that doesn't mean it's not good.
No, I understand. I completely understand. I think I think without walking through his kitchen, I think the microwave is the best cook in that house, based off what he's said on his podcast, and that's fine. If you can make you can make millions on it, have at it. Like it is what it is.
McDonald's microwaved every sandwich they had for the longest time. Company that's worth billions of dollars.
For sure. And
it all depends on what you want to do to reach your level of what success is in your head.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, and their prices, I guess, for Des Moines are cheap. I mean, cheap. You're talking a dinner platter with 2 meats, 2 sides, and a slice of garlic bread. Let's say if you get brisket, it's like $17. I mean, it's cheap.
How much are you getting? Is that like a quarter pound?
According to this, it's a third pound. Yeah, third pound each. Oh, that's crazy.
Justin says 5 million per is busy. Yeah, it is. Texas
sure.
Roadhouse, the Texas Roadhouse there, he says, does 8 million. His D's did 1.6 and was top 10 in the company. So when I lived in Lansing and worked at McDonald's there as first assistant store manager, where I earned top assistant manager honors in the state of Michigan. Thank you very much.
Still hangs his hat on that.
I do. I think I still have it somewhere. My little plaque.
He was the top ass manager.
I was. Nobody managed ass better than I did.
Yes, you did.
Back in the day. Yeah. Anyways. So yeah, we were about $1.5 million, and we were the busiest in Michigan. Yeah, it's and that was, I mean, sure, it's busy, but it's busy during lunch. And breakfast is steady. It's like we were busy for an hour and a half a day, really, every day. But yeah, I mean, even doing back in the day, 20 years ago, when that was the case, it was. I mean, you could still get a value meal for less than $4, or just over $4 for a quarter pounder meal or whatever. So, doing $1,000 lunch then, let's see what the equivalent of 1.5 million in today's money. Oh, 1.5 million in, let's say, 2002 in today's money. Let's see where that gets me. So $1 million equals 1.75 today. So you're at a $2.5 to $3 million restaurant in today's money.
Jeez.
So yeah, I mean, it was, yeah. Justin says population is 170K here. Is that proper or is that metro? So yeah, I mean, you have a decent restaurant that you do barbecue in Grand Rapids area.
Is there one?
No, like that can seat a large amount of people, like more than 15 seats. No, I don't think so.
There's not a franchise there that does it.
No, Famous Dave's. We had one. It closed.
I've seen the newest one that's taken over at least the east side is City Barbecue.
But you're not seating. Okay, so we have a City Barbecue. We have a Mission Barbecue.
Oh, I've been to City.
Michigan is probably the biggest one as far as seating goes.
Okay.
They can probably seat a couple hundred.
Gotcha. Yeah, the city I went to.
They're small.
Yeah.
I think there's probably less seating than what's in a McDonald's. You're probably getting 20 tables in that kind of thing. And they're all just the McDonald's booth style tables where you're sitting two on each side. And yeah, so we have those. I mean, and plenty of that other place, Dickie's, those scattered around. So, but I also said good barbecue. You have a good barbecue restaurant. Like Darren brings one of those to Grand Rapids. Yeah, he's probably going to do $8 million a year at that.
$24 a pound for brisket.
I hope he doesn't.
Right.
24 a pound for brisket.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
It's his catering. 24 a pound for burn ends.
Oh, that's the catering price?
Yeah.
Well, he's still below me.
15 a pound for pork and chicken and sausage.
But I guarantee you, so we're 27 a pound on the truck and closer to 30 something on for catering. 32-ish.
24 a rack.
Sorry, 34.
24 per rack of ribs.
But he's also getting much better pricing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
He's not buying a case or 2 cases at a time from Costco. He's getting 20, 30 cases at a time.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Straight from distributors, he's not getting from resellers. So he's getting the Costco price. He's not getting the us price.
Yeah. He's not getting
yeah. So
I don't know. Speaking of that, I'm looking through and thinking about doing my first Cisco order.
Yeah.
Yeah. Currently, they're certified Angus brisket. Average 75-pound cases is $4.12 to $4.30 a pound. It's not bad.
What was the price per pound?
Basically $4.13 to $4.30. But I think I can get better than that. Their pork is still expensive. It's still $1.72 a pound. St. Louis, 2.5 and down are $3.26 a pound. And their cavatappi pasta is, I don't like that cost, but it's like $34 a case for 2 10-pound bags. It's about,
Well, it's just probably
Well,
what, yeah.
it's a little bit less than Gordon's, I think.
Yeah. So why don't you like that price?
That's a good question. I don't know why I always said that. Or you can do 6 3-pound bags of the already cooked pasta for $42 a case. But why would I do that?
I don't know. Why would you?
I don't know. I have no idea. So yeah, so we're gonna. Their delivery schedule is like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday out where we are. Since I signed up last year, I have to have one order within a 365-day period. So we're gonna order probably the week after Christmas for our opening.
All right.
They do have a couple things that I like that I can't really get elsewhere, so we'll work with it. Yeah, we were rolling into hiring people. Justin, Jason, whoever, if you both are out there, Steve too. Do you have employees like are on payroll? I'd like to hear what you think about that.
Oh, Lauren has joined us again. Lauren has employees. She loves hiring people.
Oh, I would love to talk to Lauren about hiring people.
It's her favorite thing.
I'm sure it is. Does Lauren still work the truck?
Yes.
Yeah, she's one of us. Still one of us. It's good.
Yeah, Lauren has 10 employees.
Lauren has 10?
Mm-hmm.
With how many trucks?
2.
Okay, that makes sense now. I thought she had more than that. I do love the name Patty Matters. It's still one of my favorites. Yeah, so if I want to run this restaurant, cafe, and the food truck,
Mm-hmm.
I personally feel I'm going to be spread pretty thin. Now, I can go drop the trailer anywhere I want to and just have I've got 2 people that I pay, cash-ish to take care of everything on the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And I can afford that, and that's fine. But I can't pay the same amount that I pay on a trailer in the cafe. I've got utilities and rent and stuff like that. So
just real quick on Lauren.
Oh, please.
She's on a roll.
Please.
They got their name trademarked this year.
Oh, so, congratulations.
I told her I'd be interested in how that process worked. But some things, so she does work on the truck, not as often as she used to. She has an assistant. That was one of the people that she has hired to handle all her booking and stuff like that. So all the catering, all the booking. She essentially gets a schedule of where her trucks are going to be and works from there. So those eye rolls, Lauren, are of jealousy.
Fantastic.
Yeah, she got the assistant with the second truck, so it didn't come with the truck, but
she's been in business for how long now?
10-ish. I think that's right, Lauren. Right, 10 years now.
She can always come on as a guest if she'd like. Just I know she's busier than one of our wallpaper hanger, but still, I appreciate her being on anyway. So I have to now. I think I'm a good judge of people,
Mm-hmm.
but I look at the cafe and I look at their hiring and who they've hired, and I know it's not the same, but I've got a lot of their employees wanting to come work for me because of hours. Because they hire people that they just work work part-time. So do I ask what they're making now? Does that matter? If they want to just fill in time with me, how do I approach that with their current employer? considering we're both part of the same building? Or do I just say, hey, I can't do anything until you're gone and not worry about that part of headaches?
I would rather have my own employees than share employees, but
the problem is their employees are really good. Like there's 2 or 3 that are like really good. One has helped me in the truck a few times and has taken to everything that I've done to where she can pump food out. She can, she's more of an introvert, so she could be somebody that I could use in the background. But I think it's easy. It's what sucks is it's somebody that I could probably train to actually be like another me, somebody that could take care of the smoker, somebody could take care of meat. Loading meat in a smoker, I guess, isn't so hard, but it's more of the after part.
Like when it's done.
Yeah, pretty much.
How do you know when it's done? Like you can't set a temperature. Like pull the brisket off when it hits 202 because we all know, those of us that cook briskets know that it could be 190 and done.
Yeah. Every brisket's different.
202, you're at leather again.
Yeah.
So
it's just I'm looking at that and I'm looking at those people and they know. I think they're in it for the money because they know they could probably make more tips with me than they do there.
Lauren says set up expectations on when they are available and don't cross availability. So yeah, I agree with that. I would have them set availability. They have availability for the cafe. They have availability for you, and those 2 availabilities cannot leak over. So if they're going to be, and I would do it by days. So they're available at the cafe to work cafe hours from on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then they have availability for you Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or whatever.
So there's the 2 people that I'm talking to are actually 2 managers that work there. And they're pretty much 6 to 2, Monday through Friday. One person gets off at like 12:30 on Friday, so they don't get 40 hours. And I'm going to be open from 11 to 6, maybe 11 to 8 in the summertime. So I know I could utilize a couple. I guess it's just like, do I worry about having more employees that have more availability, or just the 2 people that I know that could make it happen? You know what I mean? So like they could work the weekends if they wanted to. I don't know how to cross that.
So you're being too wishy-washy, I think.
Well, I'm probably am.
Or do I stick with these 2 employees that could work the weekends if they wanted to? So that all needs to be, you need to set that as the expectation. When you hire anybody, like I need somebody to be able to work weekends. I'm not saying you have to work every weekend, but when I do the schedule, you should plan on being available on the weekend unless I hear from you otherwise. I have 2 staff and at this point, I am rarely on the truck. I've been interacting TikTok, you fucking dumb piece of shit. Fucking China. Just kidding. Yeah, they have given, and Caleb works 2 jobs. Caleb has another job at another restaurant.
So does he work the same hours at that restaurant?
Every week, yeah. Okay, but that's based on the availability he gave me.
Correct.
So he has given me carte blanche of his schedule. So we're closed on Mondays, and he doesn't work Sundays for us because that's typically been the day that we've been up in Newaygo or over at Trail Point. It's just the day that Chris and I have just handled. So for his other job, he works on Sundays and Mondays. That's his availability there. Because I think with the food truck, because we're so, there's so many ebbs and flows and times and locations and the amount of time you're actually going to have to spend to either get to a location or maybe there's a week with additional prep. Like I could tell him that it's just 11 to 7, like service hours. But if we have a big event, we're going to need them a little bit earlier because there's going to be some prep time involved. Or there may be an instance where we're meeting at my house and then leaving from there to go out. So it could.
Yeah.
So for me, I think it works better just to have set days. And he's always said that, you know, if you need me on a Sunday or whatever, just let me know. And I just need a couple weeks so I can let my other job know.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So I think you need to be very upfront, and this will help you get the people you need. It's not I might need you some weekends. I need you available when we're busiest. You know, which are going to be weekends.
So
and
do I cross the do I just keep the people that I know that can work the truck working the truck and then worry about hiring for the cafe?
I mean, you can definitely cross over between the two.
That's the tough part. Pay is going to be
so
different.
Why are you gonna pay somebody differently hourly on the truck versus in the cafe?
Because of what I've already paid them. I can't go down. I can go down for the cafe because I have overhead, and I've explained it to them if they work the cafe.
Because you're not paying your people, you're paying them under the table, and you're paying them a straight amount for a day versus an hourly wage.
Hypothetically. No, I'm paying them per hour for sure. How many hours they work? Yes. Not per day.
So what's their hourly rate?
$20 an hour.
And you don't want to pay somebody in the cafe that?
No.
Why not? Aren't they doing the same work?
No, they're not. And this is where my problem comes in, like me, is I want to be hands-on. And if I'm getting to that point where if I'm going to pay somebody to do something, I'm not going to pay somebody $20 an hour to stand at a window and take orders. So I want everybody.
Isn't that what you're doing on the truck, though?
I would rather do that and have them put food together.
Okay.
I'm going to pay them. I want them to do it. I have one girl that refuses to wash dishes because there might be food on there. But she's reliable. That's the downside. So it's like, yeah. Anyway, so.
Boy, you've got yourself a set of people.
Yeah. The problem is they're reliable. And so I'm thinking I have one person that I would love to make like almost a manager of my food truck, but she's got another job that pays her more than I could. So that's now she can work weekends and she has a lot of flexibility. So, but she can't tow, so I have to do that. So I'm navigating different lanes and.
For your reference, so you can set people up in Square, I believe. So when you clock in, you have to select your job duty. You can assign multiple job duties to one staff member. And those job duties can have different pay rates. So if you have somebody that's doing both, when they clock in at the cafe, and you can make those job duties location dependent. So if they're logging in on the POS at the cafe, they can't select food truck. And then their pay rate can accommodate that. And what you can tell these people who are complaining that they're paying less at the cafe is that there's less drive time or expectation of travel with the cafe versus the food truck between location and location.
So I had a good question. I can't remember it. Damn it.
Justin says Skippy didn't listen last week.
What?
You're in the people business. That includes your own people too.
I completely understand.
So for me, I would pay everybody the same.
But I can't go down is where I'm going with that.
I understand, but I would be fine paying those people the 20.
So if Caleb did nothing other than take payments at, like, he didn't come in for prep, his job was to take payments.
Okay.
Like that's.
I wouldn't have hired him.
I completely understand.
I don't hire that way.
So you need somebody that can do everything.
Yes. And you hire accordingly. Correct.
So that's where I'm missing. the people that have been reliable to me have
Mhm.
not been somebody that can do everything. Because I wanted to be hands-on. I got myself into that problem. And now I have two people that I know that can be hands-on.
Can anybody clip this part out for me?
What?
Miss Taylor, it's me. I'm the problem.
Whatever. I made myself the problem because of how I chose to be in charge.
I wanted to be the face of my business.
I still do. I have no
Yep.
problem being the face.
And you can do that without being your mug in the window.
I understand. So, but if I'm going to pay somebody, I want them to be able to do what I do. I guess that's kind of the thing. If I'm going to pay somebody a good, what
if
I
you're
believe,
to pay somebody what you're making,
well, $20
then
an
they need
hour.
to do the things you're doing. Are
Well,
you making $20 an hour, or are you making more than $20
I
an
don't know
hour?
what the fuck I'm making. I have money in the bank, and that's kind of what we're rolling towards. But that actually leads me to my next.
Pam, you want to chime in on accounting 101?
I can't pay myself a salary.
A positive bank balance is not an indication of a profitable business.
No, positive bank balance and my bills being paid is a profitable business. Anyway,
Why can't you pay yourself a salary?
No.
Why not?
Because I'm a sole proprietor. Can't pay myself a salary.
So change it.
But why do I want to? I get better tax deductions being a sole proprietor than I do an S corp.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I've gone through it.
Individually, you do.
Well, yeah.
So you're never gonna have yourself on payroll?
I don't know. This may change it because I might need the extra tax deductions.
Yeah. So S corp, I think that's what I'm probably doing this winter is changing myself over to S corp. But you should still be giving yourself owner distributions.
My owner distribution is my mortgage. I
understand. Okay, so you know how much you get paid a year.
Okay, correct. I can do that.
There we go. You're not paying yourself. You are making money. You are paying personal bills. Yes. No, you are paying yourself a distribution.
Correct.
Yeah. Lauren says once you hit a certain sales threshold, each tax classification makes sense in a different way. So Skippy's got a good probably decade then before he has to worry about switching.
God, you're a dick.
Sorry, Skippy. That was mean.
I pay myself about $19,560 a year. My mortgage payment times 12.
All right.
I mean, I can add my truck payment into that, but I'm not
I wish I had your mortgage payment. Well, your truck payment should be a business expense, right?
It is. That's under the business.
So it doesn't count. Yeah.
I get it. So this is what I pay myself.
Lauren, if I am not mistaken.
Oh boy.
So she said she's still an LLC, but could switch to an S corp. My understanding of those structures is that you are not allowed to have yourself as a sole proprietor or majority owner of an LLC and be on payroll, which is where we're into owner distributions over actual paycheck. So I have a couple of meetings set up hopefully in the next couple of weeks. So get that. So okay, you're not on payroll. Okay, excellent. You're paying yourself, but not on payroll. Excellent.
So that leads me to the next thing. Tips. Right? Tips. No. With a P. With a P gotcha. There, fella. P.
Show took a turn.
Takes a turn every week. The owner of the company technically isn't allowed to collect tips or share in tips. I said the word technically, maybe hypothetically, or tips should always go to hourly workers of some sort.
I mean, you go back and look at all the food truck groups, and you'll see about 1,000 threads with 1 billion comments. I don't know what the law states. I understand So yeah, Lauren, that's the point, Lauren. So Lauren says, what happens when you're the owner and working solo? Then absolutely. I think tip sharing though is where we get into a great thing. I think it's more if it is an actual law, I think it's more based on restaurant work where you have shift managers or restaurant managers sharing in tips when they're not actually being a part of the wait staff or being part of the kitchen staff. So I do not collect tips. I'm not a part of the tip share unless I'm.
Are you okay?
Oh my God. No, I saw your cat. And for whatever reason, my brain.
Oh yeah, she's right there.
My brain said it was behind me.
Fucking weird.
And that's so I looked. I was like, no, never mind.
Right
that's
there.
not my house.
Oh, that's Callie. She's been around the block a couple times. She's missing half a tail.
So yeah, the only way I ever have tip collection for me is if I'm solo. So Caleb works with me on the truck for the day alone with just me, then he gets 100% of the tips.
Okay. Is that a Josh decision or is that a legal decision?
I don't know. But I'm fine with it. I don't need to make the tips. Yeah, it doesn't bother me either way. I would rather take care of them over me. So
if you run
they love working with me.
I can imagine. I get that. So how do you deal with Chris being on salary?
So for Square, he still has to punch in order. So he punches in on the register.
Yeah.
And that's when his tip collection starts. He doesn't get tips when he's not punched in.
I gotta freaking put that in there. I don't have people punch in. I gotta do that.
So yeah, if you're not clocked in on Square, you're not collecting tips, regardless if you're salaried or not. Okay. So he doesn't earn an hourly wage when he clocks in. It's the same. It functions the same way. It only accounts for tips. So where it gets a little, where we have to manage it on our side. Sorry, Lauren, shared tips. She has shared tips on shifts. I do not take tips if I'm not on the truck or if I'm not working. Yep. So
hold on. Does that mean that she does take tips if she is on the truck?
I'm gonna say I'm assuming yes, based on how she worded it.
Okay.
What was I saying? Oh, where we have to manage things a little bit more. So like, let's say we have a wedding the following weekend. She says 50% of the time.
Depends on how good or bad they are.
So let's say we have a wedding on Saturday. They pay their invoice on Monday when we're closed. So no one's clocked in. Okay. They leave a tip. So by default, if there is 0 people clocked in, it automatically stays in the bank account. It doesn't get distributed to anybody. So essentially the owner gets it. Make sense?
Oh, yes. Okay. Yes.
So let's say, but Caleb and Chris are working that wedding on the weekend. Mm-hmm. So they wouldn't, when I run payroll, I have to make the adjustment to distribute those tips to Chris and Caleb so that way they're getting the tips for the wedding they actually worked.
Oh, okay. So if you sent an invoice and I always click, allow tips,
mm-hmm.
and a tip comes in and it's paid,
mm-hmm.
you then have to go in for that wedding that's due or that's happening next week
and make an adjustment on the payroll. Yep.
How does it?
It's more cumbersome when someone pays while we're open.
Yeah, I can tell.
And then for whatever, it's just me or it's just Chris working a wedding or whatever, doing a drop off.
Gotcha.
And that the tips are then distributed to whoever's punched in, Chris, Caleb, and Pam or whatever.
Yeah.
So then I got to there's just adjustments that have to be made. But it's not a huge deal. It doesn't happen that often. I make a little note, and then when I run payroll, you just do it.
So I just Googled, can owners of restaurants receive tips? According to Fair Labor Standards Act, FLSA,
Mhm.
restaurant managers can only keep tips they receive directly from customers for services they provide.
Yep. So if you're not doing the work, you don't get the tip.
Okay.
So yes, if you are on the truck and working, legally you could.
As long as I'm physically working, then
Mhm.
it's possible. Otherwise, if I'm not there, so if the restaurant, let's say the cafe and the food truck are working simultaneously, whichever one, yeah, okay, that fair enough. That makes sense.
Lauren says, I split tips individually by shifts worked. For large events where shifts overlap, I split by hours. Lauren, are you using Square by chance? So any online tips are done automatically by whoever's punched in. And then like in an instance where shifts overlap or someone's not working a full day, you cash out cash tips at the end of whenever that person leaves and split however you need to split them.
And this is why I asked, because like, let's just say, so that Saturday that I opened the cafe for like the parade, we did like $775 in sales.
Mhm.
And of that, like basically 10% went in tips.
Okay.
So it's like the person that was making $15 an hour. I mean, granted, I was working, I was putting food together. She was the hostess and stuff like that. So, but I mean, it makes sense. I get it. Okay. I got to put you on mute though. Please hold.
Okay. So yeah, curious what everybody else does. Oh, sorry. Justin says he had a wedding this weekend, had one of my part-timers with me. We got a tip. I split it with him. Workload was 70-30, me to him. Tip was split 50-50. Yep. I have no problem not taking part in any of the tips. Thank you, Lauren. Lauren is not using Square. She is unhappy with her current POS and is looking to be switching sometime. So currently using Lightspeed or Shop, what used to be Shopkeep, she said. And then, okay, well, on the truck, only the employees get the tips. Yeah, for most weddings, we've got it set up in a lot of any buffet style stuff. I mean, yeah, I'm doing a lot of the work. As far as the cooking goes and stuff like that. I mean, but when we get to there, and I mean, we're helping with setup, and then as far as refilling pans and stuff, I mean, Chris and Caleb are doing the majority of that. So we're set up pretty well now where if it's two of us, one person is kind of managing the table. Since we don't serve, we're just refilling pans, letting everybody self-serve. And then our other person for them to go get refill pans if they're not right there. So a lot of cases, there's a lot of running around for those guys. Like I said, I don't have a problem with it. In the end, my potential earnings are far surpassing what they are making. So any little bit that I can help them, I will. So, yeah, there has been an instance where there's been a ludicrous tip left. I think we were at one event where it was like a $600 tip. And Chris hands me some money. He's like, I don't feel right not giving you some of this. So, and you're grateful, and it's like, okay, thanks, but I said you don't have to. I said, that's just kind of the way that we work. So, Justin says he's got the Skippy problem with catering. I want to be doing the running and working. My help is helping. Yep. Lauren's best day was over $900. Was that a piece or for the whole truck? 900 a piece is pretty freaking awesome. I'm gonna guess split it 6 ways. Nice. As far as Skippy wanting to do the work, Skippy doesn't want to step away, I don't think, and he doesn't want to. He's getting to the point now where he has to manage instead of work, and that was kind of where I started adjusting. It's like that was my goal, so I started early with those expectations, and I'm lucky to have Chris, 100%, and I'm happy to pay him what he is being made. And as far as food truck employees go, he's probably grossly overpaid. But for me, he's worth every penny, you know? Two on the truck split as $800 tip day. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good day for those two people. So yeah, for me, I didn't want to get myself so locked in to working on the truck. And I love working on the truck. I love serving the people. But for me, it was never about having a truck. So we always saw it as a growth thing. So every chance we could, we worked towards that with the people that we hire and the expectations of those people. So that's why I tried not to get locked in with one person doing one task. For the most part, everybody can do everything. Pam is probably our semi-exception, where she was our order taker. But she did dishes and everything. The only thing she wasn't comfortable doing was making food. And it's not that she couldn't, she just didn't want to. She didn't want to be fast at it. So, but if we stepped off the truck for 10 minutes to run into the bathroom at wherever we were at or whatever, and someone came up, she would make the food. So, hey, Skippy.
Hi, I'm back.
Lots of good tip talk going.
Damn, I missed it. I'll have to go back and listen to my own podcast.
Yeah, we need the listeners, man. Come on.
That was actually good timing because dogs were walking in front of my door, and my dogs can see them and decided to bark. So, anyway.
Let me catch you up a little bit.
Yeah.
Lauren is currently using Lightspeed, which used to be ShopKeep.
Yes,
she says she's been having lots of issues, so she's probably switching. So all of her employees clock in and out, and shifts are documented that way. Lauren, the reason I asked was because Square automatically divvies those up for any clocked in employee. So I'm not sure if ShopKeep does it that way, but she said her best day for tips was over $900, and that got split 6 ways. Last year, okay, so she averages $50,000 to $60,000 a year in credit card tips.
Jesus.
So that's the average for the past 4 years. Granted, she's doing. I wonder what the percentage the sales
What was that dollar amount?
50 to 60 a year in credit card tips. So that doesn't include cash. But our cash to credit card ratio for credit card for tips, it's so we're doing 35% in cash. Our tips are probably 10% cash.
Yeah. Did you run your numbers? See what your tip was?
I'll have to go look real quick.
I got mine.
So she's at 600,000 yearly sales. So they're right about 10%.
Congratulations.
Thank you for answering the question. I was tiptoeing around.
Thank you.
And she says, Lauren says everyone that works for her tries to do everything. So, and that's kind of what I was talking about a little bit was, it's hard to get yourself from, if you are, and that's why I never wanted to be solo too, is because you're going to get yourself so ingrained in working the truck that it's hard then to peel yourself back out to manage your business.
Yeah.
So I was always in the mindset, like there was a clear path about where to get. So every step we took, every person that was hired was a step to get me closer to being able to manage the business versus run the business.
Absolutely.
And we've talked about that a lot. And you asked me if I was worried about not being the face. It's like, I don't care. Like I can be the face of the business through social media and everything else. Dave Thomas isn't working in a restaurant, but he's the face of Wendy's.
Isn't he dead?
Missing the point, Skippy.
Oh.
He's dead and he's still the face of the business. See, you don't have to be there.
Wendy is the face of the business.
Yeah, whatever. Still the point.
I understand. I get where you're going. That's something that we're gonna.
So yeah, I mean, when you're focused on just working, like I'm the sandwich maker for the truck, then it's easy to hire somebody that only does order taking.
Correct.
So if you are in the mindset from the get-go of, I don't want to be on this vehicle full time, then when you're hiring people, those expectations are a lot different. Then I just need you to take orders. I just need a warm body to take some orders. And we've been there. I mean, we've had those needs from time to time with some part-time people. You know, like I need you for like the next month and a half. I just need you to take some orders. I was that way when we did the winter service. It was pretty much, I just need somebody to sit in the window and take orders. So, we got comments flying all over the place.
I love comments. Please.
I need more screens.
You've got 17 of them already.
I know. The problem is I'm streaming on all three of them and the comments are separated. It makes it very hard to keep up.
There's a 100-inch TV. It's on sale at Sam's. Throw that out.
Justin says he wants the same as well. Just need to keep growing. Not there yet. So until then, I'm going to work. Justin Harris, was it the IRS calling about tips?
No. It was actually a potential catering gig for next week. So
excellent. Lauren says she loves working on the truck. That's why my assistant does the stuff I don't want to. And yeah, I mean, you do hire the people to do the work that you don't necessarily want to do on the back end. So the business stuff, like if you're not good at accounting, hire an accountant. You know, if you're not good at marketing, social media, hire a kid to do some social media stuff for you. And for social media, make it performance-based pay. You know, pay them $10, $15 an hour, and then give them bonuses for growing your accounts. You know, if you hit these metrics, if we engagements up over from month to month, if our brand grows from, oh my God, Skippy, you know, he complains that, you know, blah, 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 we don't have any good things to talk about. And then we get some good things to talk about, and all of a sudden we can't get a flow in. And he'll blame me. Oh, it's just more Josh being Josh, and I'm talking to Josh, blah, 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 blah. I love working on the truck too. I really do enjoy it. But my vision is my vision. So I don't trust that to anybody else at the moment. I'm good at that portion. So I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy the back end talking to people too. So we'll do that. Lauren says my assistant does all of that, answers emails, books events, social media, runs errands, picks up food and propane, and takes photos. Yeah. I will be definitely willing to hand that off. Lauren, like I said, once we get to either a second truck or We have some sort of walk up cafe type of situation that Skippy's kind of working towards, which I think is, regardless of how we want to go, that's probably the next step. Lauren says her assistant is her sister, so the trust level is definitely there. So yeah, once we get to where we have multiple locations or multiple trucks or locations, like if we had a brick and mortar, even a small one like Skippy's running, like I know for a fact that once that opens, like that is where my time will have to be devoted to make sure that we get that to the level that we want it to, and that's where all of my resources, mentally and physically, will probably go, is to make sure that that staff there is doing what we need it to do. And before that other location opens, those staff will be working in the truck with Chris, with me, with Caleb. So Lauren says she's convinced she can make more money on the truck, but barbecue's different. Do you mean if you are physically on the truck versus being off the truck? And I would agree, Lauren, that you are very much the culture of your truck.
Culture is great. I'd love to just, I wish Lauren had like 30 minutes, and she's given us so much time right now.
She says she's usually available on Monday, so I'll talk to her tonight when I see her at our Christmas party.
I will send her a gift card if she comes on.
Don't get too excited. He's not great with delivering on prizes and gifts. Yes, we have voicemail in Michigan.
First of all, go fuck yourself. Okay? Second of all, Jason didn't win. He cheated. Cheaters never win.
A brick and mortar wouldn't make as much money as a food truck.
See, that's what I'm struggling with, because I think it will. I think it has a chance. Like all right, here's my goals, and I'm just throwing this in there.
And Lauren says barbecue is different, and it is. But
so my goal right now is $500 a day for the 4 days a week that we're open. So $2,000 a week. That's my goal. Whether it's $100 the first day and $1,900 the last day and nothing in between. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna cry if there's nothing in between. But the local restaurant that just opened after 2 years of being under construction now granted they're higher end.
Lauren says your goal is lame.
It is, and I understand it, but I think the population of the village that I'm in is also 1,300 people. So I'm when I set my food truck goal, it was $500 a day, and I'm at $250,000, and I'm happier than a pig in shit. But if I can do $100,000 just in this, it'll pay itself. And this is a stepping stone to hopefully more adventures. So the lady that I just got off the phone with has a sporting goods store in the area that is ordering catering from us, for Christmas. And today I'm actually dropping off a catering to a local restaurant that is using us, because I'm like, well, it's awesome. So I'm starting to get noticed in the area that I want to get noticed in. But that's why it's only $500 a day. If I can do one catering a month, it pays the rent, pays the utilities. That's the goal. I could care less, honestly, if I'm open. The whole thing is to get the business away from the damn house, and being open is just a side effect. Sorry.
And I 100% agree with you. Lauren says she knows people that have reputable restaurants in downtown Grand Rapids that don't make as much in sales as she does. 100% agree. And even if they were matching your sales, their profit margins are so much smaller because of rent.
Thank you for calling me out for being lame. I definitely appreciate it.
It's just nice to hear somebody else say it.
Yes.
Yeah, overhead on a brick and mortar is ridiculous.
Yeah, considering what I just went through.
So yeah, kind of where Skippy is. Like he needs to get his trailer away from his house. There isn't a commissary option where he is. For me to get to a second truck, they both need to get out of my yard. I don't have room for a second one. I'm not going to put in additional electrical at my house to be able to accommodate a second truck. And I don't have space. I just don't have the room to put in another one. That's not going to make my house look like white trash more than it already kind of does where the trailer is. My little stack of pallets from sauce and things. And so when you start looking at commissary space and stuff like that, and the amount to pay for a commissary space, and then the storage that I would like to have, the storage space that I would like to have, for me, I would rather find a location for low rent.
Yeah, because you're into it $1,700 a month.
Yeah,
just with utilities and having a second truck, and
yep. So if I can get into a small space that I can do a small kitchen in, then why not open the front door and do some counter service?
Absolutely.
So where you can likely at least pay the rent and utilities on the space that you're renting. So and that's kind of where my thought is. That's why that's kind of the next step, is to be able to get trailers away from the house. So she says find a couple other businesses and set one up, and that's what she did. So
yeah, there's a commissary that was just set up by one of the Detroit food trucks. They own a couple. It's called Impasto. Well-known food trucks over on this side of the world, this side of the state. And they set up, it's Detroit area food truck team, or it's called Daft. But what they charge is redonkulous, maybe, for what I would need it for. Monthly, hourly rates, things like that. Yeah, so I've been cautiously optimistic about this whole thing, and if it doesn't work in a year, I'm out.
Yeah,
and we'll figure out what to do from there. I mean, a restaurant has always been my dream, and if this is a stepping stone to a bigger one, or a bigger place, or my own building, or whatever, then I think I'm young enough where I can see if it works without pulling my hair out.
You're a baby. That's what all of us need to realize, is that we're still so young. So yeah. Was that for both trucks or just the one truck, Lauren? So we have a place downtown Grand Rapids called Prep Space. I actually looked into them. So for both her trucks, she was at $2,200 a month.
Yeah, that's how. I mean,
and probably not enough storage as you would like. And that was where I was. So I had looked at it, and for us, we were doing drinks and coolers, so we were spending $20 a day plus in ice.
Yeah.
To fill our coolers. And for just me to park the truck down there with electricity, I had access to ice. It was $600. I was like, well, shit. I can almost make up the cost just in the ice to justify it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, well, then I got to drive down, and we're cooking barbecue overnight. Like, I'm on the truck at 4:00 in the morning. Like, everything
else. Are you
else
keeping your pop in your fridge right now?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We have let's see, 2, 4, 7. I think we can fit 7 across in our little spring-loaded dispenser thing.
Mm-hmm.
It just takes up one shelf. It's the best thing I've ever bought.
Yep.
For the truck, great. I think. Yeah. Yeah, we all need some capital, Justin.
Always taking investors. Justin, always taking investors.
Lauren says it cost her about $15,000 to set up the space that she has, not that she did herself. And her rent with her co-tenants went down to $1,500. So,
yeah,
I mean, paying for itself.
What's your square footage?
I don't fucking know.
Well, that's why I'm asking. You're not the only one who can ask questions, damn it. God. Now you wonder why I say it's all Josh all the time. I can't even ask damn questions. Gosh.
She said they all put in about the same amount of money. Is that the one? Is that the space in Wyoming, Lauren?
Oh, of course. You
City, not state. And what's the square footage of the building?
Oh, there you
go. Justin says he is convinced if Spaghetti Monster was a restaurant here, it would do 700. Okay. So it just needs the capital. 7,000 square feet.
Split between. Okay. Well,
yeah.
So it cost her $15,000 to get her space up and running.
Yeah. So if I could get the right space, and Hudsonville's a little better price than some other areas in Grand Rapids. 2 buses and 8 trucks in there currently. 2 buses. 2 bones. But yeah. So yeah, I can't imagine there's too many people then left downtown. So it'd be interesting to see if they adjust their rates at all.
Tonight's your Grand Rapids Food Truck Association Christmas party, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh, you're finally part of the cool kids.
Yeah, I know. They let me into the mob.
Well,
I can never leave.
They don't know what they're getting themselves into.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll get kicked out. Yeah.
He's going to run it like a schoolyard bully.
Nope. No drama from me. So yeah, if I can get the right space, I mean, even if it's only 2,500 square feet, 3,000 square feet, like I don't need a ton. Yeah, enough room for me to be able to do a decent kitchen. I don't need a full commercial kitchen. I would like to have an oven, and some baking space. Some room for some large commercial mixers. But yeah, then a counter and 5-6 tables that I can sit 20 people inside of, maybe. Then yeah, why not? A 20-seat little cafe. I'd feel pretty confident in being able to pay the rent on the building.
Sorry.
And being able to cover those expenses that way. So maybe I'm wrong, maybe not, but and if you do it the way you did it, and I mean, build the kitchen small, get it to where it passes health inspection, and then add equipment as needed. And as you grow a little bit, then yeah, I mean, you can, equipment wise, you can get in pretty cheap, but so yeah. All right. We are way over, and I have a haircut finally. Scheduled for today, so we gotta wrap this bad boy up. I appreciate everybody. Oh, what?
No, I said, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you had something.
No, I do not have something.
Okay. Well, appreciate everybody with the comments and joining in on the conversation today. It definitely makes it a whole lot easier for us to talk. See you later, Lauren. See you tonight. Yeah, it helps us help you, I guess. And we get as much out of you guys as you guys get out of us. So thank you very much, everybody, for listening in. Next week, we should be... stay tuned for next week's time. I'm working. Yeah, we have catering every day next week. So we might have to do an evening show
About time
sometime.
man gets back to work.
I know. I'm not really looking forward to it.
Woot woot. All right, people.
All right, guys. Everybody have a good week. Sell or relax, whatever you're doing. So peace out, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.
Woo. Stop
In the name of love, before
you break my heart.
Think it over.
You fuck that. Like, really? By the way, your shirt, over the last 10 minutes, the antlers look like they're holding up your tits. I'm just saying.
There.
It's just like it's like borderline, or the last
Something's got to.
or the last two on each side look like fingers, and it looks like it's squeezing your nipple. Just saying.
Your stream will stop immediately, and you will no longer be able to be live. Yes, thank you.